Buy or sell, the 49ers will finish above 500 this season. Oh, who's feeling bold today? Maverick.
Remember, there's no 500 anymore.
I'm not feeling bold. Just looking at their schedule, I think they should be above 500 just because if you just take out the whole division, I think people think this is the hardest division in the NFL. If you just eliminate divisional games and eliminate the Green Bay game because we don't know who their quarterback is going to be, there's 8 wins on the schedule, in my opinion, of Philadelphia, Chicago, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Atlanta, and Detroit, and Houston. That should be 8 right there. They have a pretty easy non-conference schedule. So 8, and then if they just split the division, that's above 9.
It's true. That's math.
I can't sell this as much as I want to disagree. Just like Grant said, it's hard. Like Mav already said it, but I mean, the only way you can do it is if they had the same debacle and injuries last season. Even that was like, oh my God, can anyone recall a time that actually happened? Didn't they at one point like broke the scale of like injured salary cap
yes.
At some point in the season? So that was wild. That's really the only, and even then they were still a pretty solid team, at least defensively, and the offense, all they needed was a capable quarterback. So
almost beat Seattle last week.
Exactly. Yeah. And it took all of that just to keep them down. And still they finished 13th, or they were 12th, 13th, whatever, in the draft. So that's pretty wild just to think about. So I there's no way I can really ponder it. I'm buying that 1,000%, at least 8-7 for sure. I'm going as far as say 10-7 or 11-6. That still sounds so weird to say, but yeah,
it does.
It does. I'm like 11-7.
Carry the one. Yeah.
But yeah, 1,000% I'm buying this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm buying this as well. I think the 49ers are going to sleepwalk into a double-digit winning season this year. Just because last year they were super competitive with decimated by injuries. Obviously, their record didn't show it, but they were in pretty much every game, plus or minus 1 or 2 games where they were like blown out. I think they've gotten better at most positions this year and gotten healthier at a lot of positions. And I think they still have a lot of depth on the team. So I think they're going to still stay as competitive with better talent, which means that, they're going to be able to just, get over the hump in those games where they were close but didn't have enough talent to actually get those wins. Not to mention they're playing a 4th place schedule, which means they have an easier schedule than they were dealing with last season, which was a 1st place schedule. So I imagine all of those things are going to lead to a double-digit winning season this year.
Whew. Wow, this is tempting, isn't it? No, I don't want the Wolves coming after me. I'm not right. I'm going to buy this under the stipulation that even if the 49ers do get completely injured like they did last season, like everyone's been explaining, they're going from a 1st place NFC championship schedule to a 4th place schedule. That's going to help the 49ers a lot, in my opinion. And I think that at minimum wins them 9 games like Maverick went over. But I will say, I think there's a chance they go below 500 if Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter for the entire season. That's the only way I think the 49ers would ever go below 500. And even then, I don't really think I'm buying that. So as much as I want to be a contrarian here and get people pissed at me in the comments and on Twitter, I'm not stupid. They're going to win at least 9 games this season.
Okay, I'll do it. Look, I predicted the Niners will win 11 games this year. So that's my prediction. But let me be a salesman for a second. My brother's a salesman. Let me sell this. All right. My best attempt to sell the Niners below 500. We're talking about a team that's only had 4 winning seasons since 2003. So just to assume that things are going to go their way is a little rich. And really what happens to the 49ers, especially recently, is they beat themselves. They beat themselves by getting injured. It's not like they've had these nemesis that they just can't compete with. They can kind of compete with anybody when they're healthy, but they limp into the season. They are decimated by the time the season's over. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, they were one of the most injured teams in the league. I just feel like it's not that far-fetched to think that an injury-prone team is going to get injured again. And that it's not that, Mav went through the schedule and pointed out how it's weak. Yeah, but the Niners' toughest opponent every year is themselves. It's themselves. And they're so tough on themselves. I mean, they beat themselves up in camp in spring. So that's me selling a below 500 record, but I think there's way too much talent in this organization. They're in year 5 of a promising regime. I'd hate to think that they're going to go 8-9 this year, but it's certainly on the table. Let's not take that for granted.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to buy it because you have to. Otherwise, you're going to light them up criticism wise.
Yeah,
8-1 is still possible. They can still get 500.
Oh God,
Maverick, that's right.